My hard deadline for this August 1st inaugural Michael McLean World Building newsletter is tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday, 6 p.m. tonight. After that, if you have not subscribed, you will be locked out. It's a hard deadline. I don't do the pretend fake scarcity stuff. I don't care whether you subscribe to my newsletter or not. It's not going to change my life or my business one bit. But I do want you to understand that I have to send, Leanne and Mark have to send the subscriber list to the printers tonight at 6 p.m. And then after that, if you haven't subscribed, you're locked out until at least the next edition, which will be in September. So if you want a copy of my new paper and ink newsletter, if you want it FedEx to you in mid-August, if you want to be able to access and read the first copy, then you need to go to badassletter.com right now and register. That's badassletter.com. Do it today. Take care of it. Deadline tonight, 6 p.m. Same thing for all the free bonuses. One of these black Be Relentless t-shirts, my old insurance book, fax access to me, mail access to me. You're part of our online forum. I've got lots of training in there, videos, book recommendations, all kinds of different things. So those bonuses, also the deadline for the bonuses and for subscribing tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern, and then the first edition goes to print. So if you don't want to be left on the sidelines, go to badassletter.com and subscribe right now. So Michael McLean, noblebook.com, badassletter.com, the toughest advice for the toughest business men. So, true story, when I was 37 years old, I read this amazing article in GQ magazine. And I followed up and I did some additional research after. But I was 37 years old at the time. I had just sold my junior hockey team and franchise, and I was in my second year working for my dad at McLean Insurance. So I had been working for 24 months in an office for the first time in my life. I was at the point where I was about to purchase, or I had just purchased the agency. So now I was the CEO, I was the marketing director, and it was my show to run. So at the age of, it's an interesting thing, this article I read, and I tore it out, and I still have it in my file, and I reference it from time to time because it's probably one of the top 25 things I've ever read that changed the direction of my life as a man, as a husband, as a father, as an entrepreneur and business and community leader. And the article was about how our prime, our absolute prime as a North American male, a man, husband, father, grandfather, is age 55. Our absolute physical, mental, emotional, psychological, all the areas of our life, our prime is age 55. Not 25, not 27, not high school, not college, not our 20s or our 30s, not what we see in the NFL or in college football or in the NHL, where pro and amateur sports, his prime is 26. A quarterback's prime is 27. A goaltender's prime is 28 to 30. This kind of talk. That's for athletics. And as society brainwashes us, we're all brainwashed. There's no way to avoid brainwashing. And as my friend Dan Leona says, it's just a matter of what we choose to be brainwashed with. So you can choose to be brainwashed by mainstream news, social media, online, all of this other stuff, or we can choose to be brainwashed by great books, great newsletters, great podcasts, great autobiographies, great biographies, positive associations with great people who we associate with, how we set up our environment, our home, our office, our vehicles. So brainwashing is going to happen no matter what, to you, to your queen, to your children, to your grandchildren, no matter what. But as Dan says, what are you being brainwashed with? And I think that's a very powerful concept, because at the age of 37, when I read this article, I had, 30 years of brainwashing that your prime was when you were in high school or university or college. Your prime was when you were in your mid-20s. That was when you were at your best as a man. You could run, you could work out, you could go partying, you could recover the next day. You're in your physical prime. And that's the point, your physical prime. There's no possible way at age 27 that I was in my mental prime, my spiritual prime, my intellectual prime, my mental toughness prime. None of that. None of it, not even close. And this is the point I make about keeping our children close. I hear it from businessmen, well, my kids they're in their 20s. Well, your kids in your 20s are still growing intellectually. They're still growing spiritually. They're still finding out who they are. They're still chasing their mission, their purpose. And this is why, as kings, we need to keep our children close until at least age 30. This doesn't mean they live in your home. This means that you're in constant contact with them. You continue your teachings, whether you think they're appreciated or not, and you keep your children close. But this article was an eye-opener for me, and it changed my mindset completely, because all of a sudden, like, I was awash in the brainwashing of, well, it's all downhill from 40, or it's all downhill from 45, and all this other stuff. And around me, I didn't have any of those examples. Thank goodness. Like my dad is turning 89 in September. My mom is turning 89 in December. So my role models, I don't have heroes. My parents are my heroes. I've never had heroes. My parents are my heroes. And I'm blessed to have them in my life, in Krista's life, and in my daughter Emery's life. My dad's turning 89, and God willing, he will be on the ice skating this fall with Emery's class at school, because I teach the power skating every Tuesday afternoons. And my dad is out on the ice skating, yes, ice skating at the age of 89 with the kids. And these kids are age 5 to 10. So the thing is, nobody on the ice, including parents and volunteers, has any clue that my father's even in his 80s. If I went around and was a betting man, which I am, most people, I would say they'd put their money that my dad's in his mid-70s. Physically, mentally, emotionally, intellectually, just all around. And that's what this article was about, the complete package. The complete package. His point was that at age 55, a man has everything, or should, most don't, should have everything. Excuse me, Cliff. Good boy. You gonna go with me today? First walk in a week for Clifford. He has been beating the heat by staying at home. So his point was age 55. You know, you've got it together financially. You've got it together intellectually. You've got it together spiritually. You've got it together physically. You should. You've got it together emotionally. And this is when a man should be thriving as a husband, as a father, as a entrepreneur, whatever your purpose in life is. So this article changed my way of thinking. I no longer had that 99% ordinary and average thinking and mindset that, you know, your best days are in high school and college. Those are some of the best days of your life. There's no question about that. But I wouldn't trade where I am in my own life right now. I wouldn't trade where I am in my life for anything. If I could wave a magic wand today and return to my high school days or my university days or my early hockey coaching days, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't give up the last 19 years of my life for any reason. There's absolutely no way that I would surrender these glorious years. And as you know, the last 19 years is when I've really had my personal sovereignty, my autonomy, and my freedom kick in. And because of this, the last 19 years of my life, I wouldn't trade for anything. So, you know, it's a mindset, and then it's supported by your behaviors. Like my mom and dad are 88 turning 89, and because of the lifestyle, because of genetics, because of nutrition, exercise, and things like that, they've literally, you know, lived a life where they're 20 years younger than their biological age. When my dad was 65, nobody asked him if he was about to retire, because unless they knew him, unless they were a close friend or actually went to school with him, they wouldn't have known that he was 65. And I feel a little bit of this now at my age, where I'm like, I look at people that I went to school with or I played sports with, and I'm like, man, they seem old. They seem like 20 years older than I do. They seem a lot older than Chris and I. And that's attitude, and that's nutrition, and that's genetics. Admittedly, that's a lot of it's genetics. But just this concept that you should be in your prime, your whole world should be coming together. Your relationship with your creator, your mental health, your physical health, you know, your wealth. You should be in a safe harbor position when it all comes together. And this man was the same as me, the article writer. He said, I wouldn't trade this age or this time or this chapter in my life for anything. And that's exactly how I feel as I head towards that age in the next handful of years. It's absolutely positively true. I've worked very hard to go from broke and bankrupt, out of control, you know, immature. I've had a lot of wins, a lot of losses, a lot of frustrations, a lot of disappointments. And all of those things I've been using to get me towards my peak as a king. And it makes sense with what I teach, world building, where this is all about building a life that you never have to escape from. These videos are about building a kingdom you never have to vacation from. My newsletter is about building a kingdom you never have to escape from. And the age 55, above and below, fits in perfectly with that. And I know so many people, like you can use Tom Brady as an example, where he has that goal to play into his mid 40s. He wants to play some days till he's 50 in the NFL. In the NFL, where you take major hits, you know, from high school to college to pro. And his goal, if you talk to him, is to play until he's 50. And he's proving everybody wrong every year. Time will tell. But he's also got the thinking and behavior to support that mission that he's on. Nobody works harder mentally, physically, intellectually, spiritually. I mean, the guy works very hard to build his own world. Tom Brady lives in his own world. He lives in his own kingdom. He's created it from almost nothing to what it is today. But that's his mindset. So what if your mindset changed from, you know, the average American male lives to age 78. I've shared that number with you, 77.5. 78 years is the average life expectancy of the North American man. Well, since when are you average or ordinary? So what about changing your mindset and saying, God willing, I want to add another 20 years to my life. God willing, I want to add another 20 years of time with my queen, with my children, with my grandchildren. What about that mindset replacing, well, the average is, good morning, is 78, and instead saying, you know what, I'm going to do everything within my control, and I'm going to pray for grace every day, and I hope and pray, but most importantly, I'm going to take the actions so that I can live another 20 years, another 30 years. And yes, my physical, my emotional, my mental, and my spiritual prime, in your financial prime, is going to be 55 and above. And, you know, you see it all every day. If you look around, there's lots of top 1%ers that are absolutely peaking as businessmen in their late 60s, their 70s. My dad retired 3 years ago at 85, and you can't tell me he wasn't in his prime. Like there was no evidence that he wasn't in his prime. At age 85, he was on a contract, an executive contract with the company that bought the agency. He was making more money than he ever made in his career. He had none of the responsibilities of ownership or management. He was working with only platinum clients. Out of 9,000 clients, he had the responsibility of 134 files. That's it. 134 platinum files, the best of the best. He worked when he wanted. He came into the office when he wanted. He left when he wanted. Like that's prime. He was healthy. He's the best dressed guy in the business. He's fit. He's healthy. You know, he's in his prime, and he was 3 years ago 85, and to this day, my mother questions why he retired. She's like, I guess it's your choice, but he could easily still be working in there at age 88, almost 89. So, you know, those are the role models that I want to use. And he's done the work through his life to extend his life. And yes, biology has a lot to do with it, but he doesn't have in his family, in his biological family, he doesn't have that history of living a long time. So he's an example where you can throw genetics right out the window. I mean, he's done it with attitude. He's done it with fitness. He's done it with walking. He's done it with mindset. He's done it with reading. He's done it with reading. He's done it with not drinking. He's done it with not smoking. He's done it by not following the crowd. So interesting stuff. On my mom's side, she's 89. My mom's 89 years old. Her mom lived to 96. Her sisters into their 90s. So genetics is on their side. But it's not a life of, okay, they're living till into their 90s, but it's no life. My mom drives an Audi. My mom got a speeding ticket 2 years ago at the age of 86. She got a speeding ticket. She was driving so fast in her sports car that the police had no choice but to give her and he knocked it down, but he's like, Eva, I got to write you up for something. And my mom laughs about this stuff. You know, she has memory issues. But in terms of physical health, I mean, she can touch her toes. She can do a Hindu squat. She can go swimming. She can go walking. She can talk to you about anything you want to talk about. I mean, it's insane. My dad spent last weekend working on his in-ground pool, his outdoor in-ground pool. He didn't hire anybody for it. He's working on it. He's fixing it. He's cleaning it. At age 88 and counting. So I think mentality has a huge part of it. I know genetics plays a role, but you know, both my parents are readers. Both my parents are spiritual. My dad's not a religious person. My mom is a religious person. My dad and I are the same. We're spiritual. We believe we believe in God. We believe we have a creator. We believe we have a purpose. We believe we've been granted this gift of life for a reason. We believe that we're on a tour of duty here, and it's not good enough just to show up. It's not good enough just to cruise through this life. You need to become the best version of yourself every day, and you need to serve the people you've been called to serve. That's my dad's mindset, and that's my mindset. So whether you're religious, whether you're spiritual, whether you're not, makes no difference to me. But I think it plays a role. Belief plays a role. So does this change your mindset when I say, you know what, your prime is 55 plus? I know a lot of guys that watch these videos, they're 45 plus, 55 plus, 65 plus. But man, oh man, it's funny. I always say, my mom, I say, you know, your birthday's coming up. And she's like, how old am I? And she means it. And that's the mentality right there. It's not that she doesn't know how old she is. It's the fact that she's like, it's just a number. Age is just a number. You know, she could be 40 and have no life. She could be 50 and have no life. She could be 30 and have no life, like some people. Age is just a number. But I'm here this morning to tell you that as a man, as a badass king, if you buy into the principles that I teach, if you'll buy what I'm selling about lifestyle, about building it the way you want to build it, about walking, about prayer, journaling, meditating. I don't meditate, by the way. I've never sold. I don't know. It's not my cup of whiskey, but it is my wife's, and it's important. So be better than me in that area. Writing, reading, getting out in sunshine and nature. Like right now when I'm shooting this video, my parents live 20 minutes from here. What do you think my 89-year-old father's doing? He's on a gravel road like this with a 70-year-old friend who can barely keep up, retired surgeon. And what are they doing? They're doing road work. They're out in the sunshine. They're out in nature. They're seeing the birds, the deer. They're breathing in fresh air. They're out there in the cold, the heat, the rain, the sun, whatever it is. And they're connecting with themselves every single day. And then my dad will sit down and he'll read for 2 hours later today, later this morning after he has his breakfast. So reading, walking, exercising, moving, setting goals, writing down your main values. What's your mission in life? That's the one thing that, helps with, being your best at 55 plus is, are you living your mission? What is it that you cannot not talk about? What is it that you can't shut up about at a barbecue or a cookout? That's your mission. That's it. I can't shut up about coaching. I can't shut up about sports. I cannot not talk about Badass Millionaire. I talk about my books, my newsletters. I talk about the success stories, the failures. I cannot not talk about it because I'm living my mission every day. My mission is to help 1 million men like you build your kingdom. Nothing loftier than that. Okay? I'm not, that's what I'm teaching you. I'm teaching you what I'm doing. I'm taking you on my adventure, on my journey with you. I'm doing this with you because I've built many kingdoms, and I'm in the process right now over the last 3 years with this company. Since the China virus, last 2.5 years, I'm building a brand new kingdom. I'm reinventing myself. I hate that word. I'm blowing it up. I blow it up every 10 years and build something even better and more new and more exciting. I'm convinced 10 years from now, 10 years, like I said to Marc-Andre, I'm going to give him 10 years as his business partner to this. I'm going to help 1 million men. We are going to help, Leanne and Mark and I are going to help 1 million men like you over the next decade build the kingdom of your dreams. We're going to help 1 million men like you build a world you never, ever need to escape from. We're going to help 1 million elite businessmen and husbands and fathers like you, age 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, build the kingdom that they never, ever, ever have to vacation from unless they want to. So it's amazing because in the back of my mind, I'm already thinking of 10 years from now. And I'm thinking about, I believe I have another hockey championship in my, in me. In other words, I'm not even thinking about after, 10 years of doing this, 10 years of shooting videos, 10 years of writing books, 10 years of publishing newsletters, 10 years of doing the masterminds. After I serve 1 million men in this area, I have a goal in the back of my mind that's percolating every day, is I want to earn and chase another championship in elite hockey. I want to do it at the next level this time. I want to, in 10 years plus, I want to buy a franchise that's on the emergency operating table, that has no fans, no support from the community, last place on and off the ice. And I want to take over that franchise, coach it, bring in my people, take a broom to the place, and build it up like no other. In other words, chasing that next championship. I believe I have another championship ring in me. I don't believe that the Barclay Cup was the last cup we'll lift. I don't believe that's the last ring that we'll put on our finger. I believe me and my team, we have one more run in us minimum. And reading that article years ago is one of the reasons I have that mindset. I love I like listening to Warren Buffett talk about his investments now that I think Buffett's he's 90 now. And he's talking about investments he's making in this market, in this exact market right now, that are a 10-year yield. In other words, he's like, well, this is a good long play for me. He's 90 years old. This is a good long play. This is a solid foundational company like Coca-Cola. I'm investing in this because it's a marathon, not a sprint. Holy fuck. That guy is my guy. When you're 90 years old or you're 80 years old and you're still kicking ass and you're still one of the most, respected cleaners on earth, and you're talking about the long game and how it's a marathon, not a sprint in the financial markets, and you're 90 and you're backing it up with not just words, but with millions and billions of your own money, man, oh man, that is a badass billionaire. And, to a different extent, that's my dad's mindset. That's my mom's mindset. That's a Tom Brady mindset. These people that never, ever mentally retire. They don't retire ever. And they're better for it. So that's my message for today. 55 can be the starting point of a brand new chapter for you. I don't care what age you are, if you're 40 or if you're 50 or you're 60 or you're 70, what's next? Okay, what's next? Maybe you want to take some time, maybe you want a vacation, maybe all this other stuff, but what's next? What are you chasing next? What's the next goal? Because there's no excuses. It's been proven that men like you and me should be entering our physical, mental, psychological, emotional, and financial prime at age 55. So, man, oh man, that really takes the game up a next level. You need to be getting in the best shape of your life, mentally and physically. You need to be making money. You need to be creating income streams so that you have constant cash flow. You need to be reading great books and eating great foods and drinking tons of water and eliminating toxins in your life like alcohol and people and the news and cell phone use and anti-social media, because hey, what's the goal after today? Let's see, why not add another 25 years to your life? Quality years. Why not add another, God willing, 30 years to your life? Why not talk like that? Why not think like that? That's something that I need to level up in my life, is like this 77.8, that's for the average and the ordinary. I know Father Time is undefeated. I'm no fool. I know Father Time is undefeated. But why not have my dad's mentality? Why not have, Tom Brady's mentality where you're going to break records? Like Tom Brady's got 7 Super Bowls. But you know what he talks about now? I'm going to play until I'm 50. I'm going to fucking play until I'm 50, and I'm going to be effective, and I'm going to be a competitive Super Bowl challenging quarterback every year. And anybody doesn't believe in that, get the hell out of his life. He will curate you. He will swift sword you. He will cut the rope. You don't believe in me anymore? I'll move teams. So amazing, amazing concept. Remember that deadline. My newsletter is designed to build your mindset. And it's designed to help you build a world you never, ever have to escape from. And today is the deadline at 6 p.m. Go to badassletter.com. It's a $3.20 investment in your marriage, your marketing, your business, your mental health, your physical health, everything we just talked about. Everything we just talked about, up-leveling, expanding your life, changing. I'm going to brainwash you. I'm going to brainwash you into living longer. I'm going to brainwash you into recommitting to your health, your physical health. I'm going to brainwash you into getting you in the best physical and mental shape of your life. I'm going to brainwash you that your prime, you haven't even hit your prime. When you pull it all together, the physical prime, that's for tomato cans. That's like, oh man, I bench press, or no. Show me your financial independence. Show me your relationship with your wife. Show me your relationship with your children. Show me, your investments. Show me your real estate portfolio. Show me your level of happiness. And then we'll talk about the rest of it. But that's so critical, is that's an absolute must. Is when you bring it all together at age 5, you should be roaring. You should be, lions, not poodles. You should be the ultimate lion at 55 plus. So that's it for today. Do what I do. Make sure that by the end of the day, you hug and tell your wife and your children that you love them and how much they mean to you. It is a big, big deal in today's world. Life is a gift. This is the greatest time in history to be alive. You and me are awash in abundance and opportunity, but nothing is more important than the people inside the walls of our home. As I said earlier this week, there is no success that you can have that can overcome failure in the home. When I talk about a man being at his best, 55 plus, well, being at your best is creating an environment for the people that you love, creating a kingdom for the people that mean the most to you. That to me is success. Showing up every single day, being a role model for your children, being a role model for your secret weapon best friend. When they want to see how it's done, they only have to look to dad. And, really at 55 plus, becoming a hero in your own home. To me, that's what it's all about, is being such a strong force, being such a strong role model, having such a positive mentality, having that unfuckwithable attitude that, are you kidding me? Every day, earn that crown of being a hero in your own home, a hero in your own home. And make sure that you tell the people that are most important to you that you love them and how much they mean to you every day. Send a note, put a post-it note on the mirror, whatever it is. Just make sure the message is sent every single day. That's it, 55 plus. I have some work to do. 55 plus, you have some work to do. Take it to the next level. Let's up level every damn area of our lives. Emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, financially. Let's just say, you know what? It's now a totally different game. Next level. Push it, push it, push it. And use those role models around you of people that are crushing it in their 70s, crushing it in their 80s. Warren Buffett crushing it in his 90s. And God willing, he'll give us enough track to get the job done. That's it. 2 words that changed my life. 2 words that can change your life. Be relentless.